Welcome to this new episode of our series on Ocean Networks Canada, Surfacing Secrets, Explore the Ocean, Understand the Planet. In today's episode, we dive into ocean expeditions and answer this question. Why can it be harder to put sensors in the ocean than space? Though 70% of our planet is covered by water, only a sliver of the ocean has been truly explored. Today, we venture deep below the surface on a journey into the unknown, where every sensor deployed is a bold step into uncharted territory. Our distinguished guests for this epic journey are Meghan Paulson, Executive Director of the Observatory Operation at Ocean Networks Canada, or ONC for short, Dirk Brussow, Director of Observatory Physical Operation at ONC, and Josh Tetarenko, Director of ROV Operations at CanPac Marine, a Canadian-owned marine services company. Come aboard our series dedicated to the history, current innovations, partnerships, and vision that drives Ocean Networks Canada. Let's sail into the heart of ocean exploration. Now, before we dive deeper, here's a glimpse of what's ahead.
This is my story of what I like to say is the longest ROV dive ever because it was in the water for 2 weeks straight. We were installing an outfall pipe. Basically, our ROV became, the tether became trapped.
Okay, there's the ground, and we're on it. Holy, this is going to be impossible as usual.
I never thought I'd work in the ocean. Initially, I was an aspiring geologist, did an electrical apprenticeship, or started that, and then went to UVic for marine biology, then eventually did my engineering degree and still ended up kind of where in the field work kind of thing. So long track, but.
Yeah, this is not looking great.
The ocean is not merely a vast expanse of blue, but a dynamic, living world, a place where powerful currents, hidden ridges, and mysterious life forms challenge our understanding. In this realm, every sensor deployed is a leap into uncharted territory, capturing data that transforms our understanding of the deep. Here's ONC's Meghan Paulson explaining her role during the expeditions.
My name's Meghan Paulson, and my role here at Ocean Networks Canada is Executive Director of Observatory Operations. And what that means is basically all operations at ONC as it relates to our observatories is under my purview, and that includes physical operations and digital operations, because what we do, we don't just put stuff in the ocean, but we collect data from everything that we're putting in the ocean, and we make that data available to basically anyone with an internet connection for free.
Ocean Networks Canada operates world-leading ocean observatories in the Pacific, the Atlantic, and the Arctic coasts of Canada, and in the Southern Ocean. Meghan's vision ensures that every subtle shift beneath the waves is captured and shared, empowering scientists and communities alike with knowledge of how the ocean is changing, minute by minute through to decadal scales. Maintaining these observatories is challenging work, with some scientific instruments located far, far from reach, several kilometers below on the ocean floor. In order to accomplish this work, a full team complete with engineers, scientists, and logistical support head to sea on an expedition for 2 or 3 weeks at a time at different points throughout the year. During these expeditions, special robots called remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, are the droids of the deep and act like the crew's eyes and hands to service the observatories and install new scientific equipment. The ROV is controlled from the expedition ship above by a specially trained operator. Let's hear from CanPac's ROV operator Josh Tetarenko describing his role during an ONC mission.
Yeah, I'm Josh Tetarenko. I'm Director of ROV Operations at CanPac Marine Services. We're a company on the west coast of Canada that provides any subsea services down to 6,000 meters with our deep sea rated ROV. My job in the company is to take care of and run and operate, mobilize, upgrade all of our underwater robotic systems.
Josh's cutting-edge robotics take us into the abyss, where the pressure and darkness test the limits of technology and human ingenuity. Every dive is a step into the unknown, and every challenge pushes ONC to innovate, as ONC's Dirk Brussow mentions.
Okay, I'm Dirk Brussow. I'm the Director of Observatory Physical Operations for Ocean Networks Canada. And my team is made up of engineers and technicians, and we work together to integrate new physical infrastructure onto the network, whether that's new sensors, new equipment, or new technology, stuff like that.
Ocean exploration by its nature attracts people who can transform obstacles into breakthrough opportunities, opening windows into the mysteries of our blue planet. Meghan describes how an offshore expedition early in her studies sparked a passion that set her for a lifelong mission to explore and protect the ocean.
So I grew up on the east coast of Canada, very ocean-friendly place. But it wasn't really until I was an undergraduate student in engineering in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I applied for a position for the Geological Survey of Canada, and fortunately got the position in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and had the opportunity through my supervisor to do an offshore expedition where we were collecting sediment cores, and absolutely fell in love with it. Like, I was absolutely hooked, to the point where when I graduated my undergrad, my main criteria for getting a job was I needed to work offshore.
To further illustrate the operational mindset, Meghan and her teammates emphasize the importance of being inventive when working with technology.
This is it. I love the field work. I love the environment. I love working with the technology. I love just the fact that you have to be self-reliant. You can't just, when you're out there, you can't just swing by the ocean hardware store to pick up anything you forgot.
You get to go all these places. We have got observatories in the Arctic, all along the coast of BC. We got them on the East Coast. So it's a lot of really remote travel, and that's what I really like.
Once I got into it, I was basically thrown right in. I took the job, and then we had our first cruise for ONC in 2012 or 13. I can't remember. And we were kind of as a short notice thing, and we got thrown on board a ship, and I just never turned back. I didn't really think that I would work offshore. I love spending time in the ocean either way, but I didn't expect this. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I mean, just like any tech industry, you're always sort of chasing the newest, latest technology and trying to be at the forefront. And a lot of what our partnership is with Ocean Networks Canada is not just to provide the services, but also to make sure that we stay on top of the latest and greatest technology for the industry. So,
in the voices of our incredible guests, we hear how the unpredictable depths ignite both innovation and genuine passion, reminding us that every challenge beneath the waves is an opportunity to redefine our understanding of our blue planet. Below the surface, the ocean can become a true battlefield, a realm where nature's raw power meets the relentless determination of those who dare exploring it. Every expedition is not just a dive, it's a confrontation with the unpredictable currents, rapidly shifting conditions, and forces that test both the technology and our human resolve. But sometimes, even in the midst of these extreme conditions, nature surprises us with the unexpected. During the ONC Abyss Summer 2023 expedition, Dirk, Josh, and others aboard Ocean Exploration Trust EV Nautilus encountered an unexpected visitor while swapping out scientific instruments at the ONC Neptune Observatory's Folder Deep site off west coast of Vancouver Island. The manipulator arm of the ROV Hercules, operated by Josh, was seized, resulting in an epic arm wrestle of mollusk versus machine.
Good thing it's full of mud. That'll make it easy. Yeah, okay. Octopus attack.
Oh no! Octopus is not happy about this.
It's not
No,
impressive.
he's biting. No. Get away.
That's my ODI.
No, get your own.
Get your own ODI. You aggressive? Wow.
How do you deal with this, huh?
Isn't the dive plan, Dirk?
Okay.
Kraken attack.
This is jumping way ahead.
Yeah, parking position's free, so that's neat. It's right there.
It's still in the Fletcher.
It's not in the Fletcher. It's on the Fletcher, but it is not in the Fletcher.
All right.
Octopus is helping you.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
He thinks he's helping.
This moment, captured live, shows how even in the most intense situations, an unforeseen incident can bring a touch of irony and humor to the exploration of the abyss. It's a reminder that the sea remains a fascinating and unpredictable playground.
Is missing. Yeah.
See what the manipulator's doing there, right?
I think I see wires.
Yeah, that's the resistivity sensor has completely melted away, leaving nothing but wires in its wake. Man, these vents really mess up our gear.
As I was saying before, I've never seen these guys get damaged.
Yeah, you still got the heat shrink on there.
So that means I can basically rip it out of there?
I think you can do what you need to get it out of there, yeah. We'd like to recover it.
Our guests have faced these challenges head-on. Listen first to Josh's account of another dive that turned into an epic struggle against the deep.
This is my story of what I like to say is the longest ROV dive ever because it was in the water for 2 weeks straight. We were installing an outfall pipe, which is a pipe that comes from a sewage treatment plant in Victoria and then disperses treated sewage deep into the ocean, properly. We were installing a new one a few years ago, and as pretty much every time we've had a major issue, there was multiple factors involved. But basically, our ROV became the tether became trapped due to a few different things. The weather came up, and it became trapped subsea. So we had to cut the tether manually on the ship and leave the ROV stuck subsea overnight because we couldn't stay where we were with the ship. But when we came back in the morning, the ROV was no longer stuck, and they're designed to float when they are not being powered so that you can find them. And we came back in the morning. It was nowhere to be found. I spent about 4 days in a small airplane searching the ocean around that area. We didn't see it. It's got a big yellow top. And I guess we weren't really looking in the right spot because evidently it had floated all the way down to the coast of Oregon from Victoria. And we literally had, lost ROV flyers and posters out in Victoria. Like, if found, please return to or please call. And we put out notices to the Coast Guard, and somebody eventually found it in the U.S. waters, and we got it back. And we got it working within 4 hours of it being returned to us, to our facility. So that was pretty cool.
Not every recovery operation is this successful. Imagine the relentless force of ocean currents pushing against your every move, a challenge that demands both technical precision and unyielding determination when operating a ROV. Such dramatic encounters remind us that in the deep, nature reigns supreme. Fun fact, a study indicates that the unpredictable behavior of deep-sea currents is one reason why less than 5% of the ocean has been fully explored.
Okay, there's the ground, and we're on it. Holy, this is going to be impossible as usual.
Yeah, this is not looking great.
5 meters to the corner.
There's some other stuff in the multi-beam.
Yeah, I think that off to the left side is the partially fallen over monument.
Oh my, how do you see anything? Holy.
A really big storm was coming through, and it was going to impact all of our sites. And we actually ran away from the storm and hunkered down for over a day off the coast of Oregon, because that was the only place that we wouldn't get pummeled. So it happens. And so when we're doing our planning, like we oversubscribe ourselves. So we plan to do more things than we could ever possibly get done because maybe the weather's going to be great the whole time and we could get nearly all of it done. Typically, we were down for a little bit during the weather. Sometimes when the weather is too bad to dive for safety reasons with the ROV, depending on the vessel that we have, sometimes we can spend some time mapping. So using a multi-beam mapping system. And so just kind of mapping the gaps and collecting data just to be somewhat useful while we're waiting for the weather to settle down.
Yet, amid this relentless struggle, there are moments that reveal the lighter side of this challenging work. As Meghan and Josh put it, the deep isn't only about surviving extreme elements, it's also an adventure full of unexpected rewards.
Part of it was the adventure of it. I mean, you get to go to places that very few people go to. Part of it was the food. I like being fed. The food is usually amazing. I like it when people make food for me. And part of it was really getting to know the people on board. It's such a different environment than a regular office environment. And you're meeting people and you're working really closely with people that you wouldn't normally do so, from every walk of life, from every type of education level. And it's really a fascinating sort of microcosm environment. And you're kind of stuck together. So whatever comes up, you have to figure it out. You have to work it out and you have to move forward for the very, focused reason that you're out there for whatever your mission is at the time.
Here, the ocean is both a formidable opponent and a source of wonder, a place where the thrill of discovery and the camaraderie of a dedicated crew transform every hardship into a story worth telling.
So I have a very advanced instrument. I go over to the side of the ship and I spit into the water and I watch spit and see how fast and which direction it goes. And and it usually works pretty well.
In the midst of the ocean's fierce challenges, it's the human spirit that shines brightest. The bonds forged among the crew transforms daunting hardships into shared triumphs, creating a sense of family that carries every expedition forward. Our guests have experienced this firsthand, where every long day at sea, every unexpected twist becomes a moment of connection and inspiration. Dirk recalls his unexpected path from aspiring geologist to pioneering innovator, a journey where every challenge became an opportunity to redefine what is possible at sea.
I never thought I'd work in the ocean. Initially, I was an aspiring geologist, my first crack at trying to get a degree, and that did not work out. So kind of went back, square one, did electrical apprenticeship or started that, and then went to UVic for marine biology, kind of left that as well, and then eventually did my engineering degree and still ended up kind of where in the field work kind of thing. So long track, but you get to go all these places, kind of what Meghan was saying. Like we've got observatories in the Arctic, all along the coast of BC. We got them on the East Coast. So it's a lot of really remote travel, and that's what I really like. And then working here, I kind of got into the offshore, working on the vessels and stuff. That's just part of the job, right? So, and I guess one of the favorite things about working here is everyone kind of circled the train, but everyone kind of came together because they're equally passionate. So the people you're working with are just as excited. And I think you kind of end up here because you want to be here. It's not necessarily an easy road to get here. So
Dirk's words remind us that for those who venture into the deep, the camaraderie among colleagues is as essential as the technology they operate. It's a collective resilience, a family united by a shared passion for discovery. Meanwhile, Josh reflects on how the spirit of exploration pushes him to continuously seek solutions and innovate in the face of challenges.
In the fields that we work in, it's exploration and just you're always trying to solve an issue with people that really, really want to solve it with you, that are really interested. Everybody's very motivated when we all come together offshore. So that's the main draw for me. That's why I got into this.
And as with family, it's always good to remember that expectation and expertise can change from person to person. As Meghan explains, biology is very different from engineering.
Well, it's funny that you said most people think you need to be a marine biologist to get into this field. And these guys can attest, I'm a terrible biologist. I'm terrible at identifying anything, I call them all critters and all fish.
This candid remark reflects that passion for the ocean transcends traditional expertise. For Meghan, the call of the ocean is a transformative experience that guides every decision at ONC, fueling her determination to explore and protect our blue planet. But beyond the differences in expertise, it's this genuine human union that is forged on each expedition. In the most unexpected moments, when technical challenges mingle with the vagary of the sea, the family spirit emerges. As Dirk points out, these expeditions create such strong bonds that they transform each mission into a collective adventure where mutual aid and camaraderie make us forget the difficulty. Josh, for his part, recalls how even after long days at sea, mutual support is felt even in the night calls, reminding everyone that, despite the immensity of the ocean, they are never alone. This union, this cohesion, is the real driving force behind their passion for exploring the abyss.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the people that you go with, I think. And kind of form this little family on each cruise. And by the end, you're like, oh, what do I do now? Because everyone goes their separate ways, right? So.
Yeah, Dirk calls me at night after cruises for the first week. He's gets really lonely. He misses me a lot.
Such connections and passion for the work has a ripple effect, inspiring new generations. For instance, recent studies have shown that the proportion of women in maritime operations has increased significantly over the past decade, transforming the culture of ocean exploration and adding fresh perspectives to these challenging environments. As we look toward the horizon, innovation becomes our guiding star. New technologies and creative approaches are transforming how we monitor and understand the ocean. Every breakthrough, whether it's in advanced robotics or in the way we organize our teams, pushes the boundaries of what is possible beneath the waves. For instance, our underwater operations rely on a precise balance between cutting-edge technology and strategic human ingenuity. Consider the challenges faced when managing a ROV in deep water.
It's kind of the definition of an ROV, a remotely operated vehicle. They're always, to be designated as an ROV, you're tethered to a ship or to a vessel or a dock if you want. So there are autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, that are not. They're used for a totally different purpose. And for Ocean Networks Canada, we need to be operating our manipulators, and we need to see the live feed of the cameras. So we need the tether, which is almost 7,000 meters long on a giant winch that's on board, and contains our power conductors and fiber optics to get the data up to the surface and down to the ROV. So yes, always tethered, which is always. It's the hardest thing to manage for ROV pilots. If you can manage your tether through all that water, especially when you're really deep, then you can work usually just fine. So yeah, it's a big part of ROV.
This insight shows how each technical hurdle spurs innovation. When faced with nearly 7,000-meter-long tethers and unpredictable deep-sea currents, teams are compelled to develop new methods of operation, turning every challenge into a stepping stone towards greater understanding. Dirk's work in integrating new sensors, equipment, and technology into the ONC network exemplifies this spirit. As he once explained, his team collaborates to continually upgrade the physical infrastructure, ensuring that every new installation is a leap forward in our ability to explore the ocean's hidden depths.
Well, there's it's kind of funny. You pick a crew, you pick your crew list, very specific to what the jobs are. And there's kind of these kind of discrete jobs. And then, so you've got the kind of the specialists for each one. And then you also have these like, I don't know, jack of all trade, but Swiss Army knives of people that you can bring along as well. So that kind of cover the spread. So we've got a few of those as well. So we'll have like a dedicated person from science or data that would focus a lot of their efforts on that field because it takes like their full attention. But then there's also the back deck work and leading dives and that kind of thing that you really need to shuffle the expertise around. But I think what gets you through the day, or because some of these cruises are long, they're like 22 days of 12 hours on every day, is the people that you go with. I've cruised with people where the camaraderie wasn't necessarily there, and then cruises with when it is there, it's a lot of jokes, it's a lot of stories. Yeah, I don't know. It's the people that you go with, I think. It kind of formed this little family on each cruise. And by the end, you're like, oh, what do I do now? Because everyone goes their separate ways, right? So
this approach to team selection is as innovative as any new sensor, ensuring that every mission is supported by individuals capable of adapting to any situation. Together, these insights reveal a future where advanced technology and creative human strategies converge to unlock the ocean's mysteries. The spirit of innovation not only refines our tools, but also redefines the way we approach the deep, transforming each challenge into a new opportunity for discovery. From the daring beginnings of deep-sea expeditions to today's state-of-the-art operations, Ocean Networks Canada is propelled by an indomitable spirit of adventure and discovery. This episode has taken us onto an epic journey through the trials, triumphs, and the human stories that define life beneath the waves. Before we close, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to our distinguished guests, Meghan Paulson, Tetarenko, and Dirk Brussow. Your unique insights and inspiring stories have definitely illuminated the challenges and wonders of ocean exploration, and we are truly grateful for your contributions. This podcast is produced by Balad'EAU with the generous support of Ocean Networks Canada. ONC is one of Canada's major research facilities and is an initiative of the University of Victoria. It is primarily funded by the Canadian Foundation for Innovation and by Fisheries and Oceans Canada. A special thank you goes to Tommy Goupil for the editing and production, and to Andrew Lowen of the How to Protect the Ocean podcast. If you'd like to hear the full interviews with our three fascinating guests, check out this podcast. For this special series, each episode is offered in 2 versions. The full interviews at the How to Protect the Ocean podcast with Andrew, and an episode with narration here on Balad'EAU. If you enjoyed this epic journey, please subscribe, visit our website, and follow us on social media for updates. Your support helps us to continue sharing these true stories of scientific discovery and human ingenuity. You'll find all the links in the episode descriptions, along with information on how to visit, explore, and follow Ocean Networks Canada, including educational contents, news on their latest missions, and even live camera feeds from their observatories, a true treasure of daily discoveries. I'm your host, Lyne Morissette. Thank you for listening, and until next time, keep exploring the ocean and uncovering its secrets.